And sometimes when we touch, the honesty's too much, and I have to close my eyes and hide. Well, the interesting thing is that Barry, in the B verse, he inadvertently copied the melody from an Elton John song, which was Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. So how does he do? Okay, so he goes, and who am I to judge you? Which is, maybe you'll find a replacement. So I just took the harmony above that. So I went to, and who am I to judge you? And that one little change was the difference between a huge hit and a lawsuit.
Wow.
Yeah, he could have sued us for that.
Welcome to the Songwriters Compass on Zoomer Media. I'm Lily Frost, singer, songwriter, and radio host. And on this show, I will interview famous Canadian songwriters of hit songs to learn what makes a song a hit. We're going to talk about what was involved in making their specific song a hit, such as circumstances, personal motivation, intention, influences, and more. After we've talked about the song, you'll get a chance to hear a solo version of it played by the artist. This is the Songwriters Compass with my very special guest, Dan Hill, and his song, Sometimes When We Touch. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Lily. Great to see you again.
Great to see you, too.
Thank you.
So Sometimes When We Touch, as I was doing a little research, I learned that it was written in 1973.
Correct.
About a woman, and you had a version of it, and then some years passed and it morphed into a different creation. Did you know at the beginning that there was something special about this particular song?
I sensed that there was something in the words that was breaking new ground. So I thought I'd stumbled on something that was significant at the time.
Did that original version vary a lot from what it became in the end?
Oh yeah, huge difference.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know that you were signed to ATV Publishing, and I guess the CEO heard a bunch of your demos and cherry-picked that one?
No, what he told me was that I wrote better lyrics than any other writer he'd signed, but that he just signed a songwriter named Barry Mann who wrote the best melodies of everybody. Anybody he said. So he said, if you two could get together with Barry's melodies and your words, God knows what would happen. And so I'd never collaborated before, and I felt vaguely insulted, actually, because I thought, what's wrong with my music? But we got together, and from our very first meeting emerged the new version of Sometimes When We Touch, which ended up being the version that was the big hit.
So just to back up for a second, would you be comfortable sharing a little bit of how that song sounded before everyone got their hands on it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You want me to do that now?
Yeah.
Let me see what happens here. Let's see now. You asked me if I love you, and I choke on my reply. I'd rather injure you with honesty than mislead you with a lie.
So is that already different?
Yeah.
Lyrically and melodically?
Well, the difference was I put injure, which I thought was a more powerful word than hurt, but because I wanted the scansion to be better, I changed it on the spot with Barry to hurt instead of injure. Other than that, the melodies are absolutely totally different, as are the chords. And as I'd mentioned earlier, Barry didn't know I'd actually written an entire song, because I was afraid he was thinking I'd give him my cast off, so I lied, so it was just a poem. So I presented.
So you never shared your original melody with him?
No.
And where was that meeting with him? Was it in LA? Or?
Yeah. Yes. I was. ATV Music was in the big black Motown building, as they called it, in LA, and so we met in the little piano room.
Okay.
At the publishing company.
So they flew you down for a session with him?
I was getting ready to record my third album, so I was down doing some pre-recording, last-minute writing, that kind of thing. Yeah. But that was also the time that I met with Barry, and I still remember it was April of 1977.
So 4 years later,
Yes,
after the song
exactly.
was written.
Yeah, exactly.
And did you like him?
He was he was this incredible ball of intensity and passion, but just so his presence and his intensity was so overwhelming that it was almost too much. But he also and he would play me
The
all these
honesty
different.
was too much.
Yes, he just had so many different melodic ideas that I was getting dizzy because
Yeah.
I'd never written with someone before.
Right.
But along with that kind of intense kind of genius was this very, very kind of neurotic, kind of insecure guy. So he kind of reminded me of Woody Allen with Superman songwriting
Wow.
powers. That was my first impression of Barry. He was a chain smoker too, so I was getting sick off all the cigarette smoke.
So it was a difficult experience for you.
It was interesting. It wasn't so much difficult as it was totally new.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'd never experienced a co-write before, and certainly not experienced a co-write with someone of such magnitude.
And did Barry rewrite it in front of your eyes, or did he say, okay, leave it with me, I'll get back to you later?
I went to call a cab to go back to my hotel. I said, I'll be right. When I came back into the little hobbled music room, he'd already written the music for the chorus. So that's how fast. I mean, so
He worked quickly,
like
yeah.
literally within the 3 to 5 minutes I was out of there, he wrote the chorus.
So if you were to share your version of the original chorus melodically, and then what he did with it, would you be able to share
Sure.
that with
Do you want
us?
would you like me to do
Just
that?
to see the difference, yeah.
Let me see. I'll try. Okay, well, let me see it now. Ask me if I love you, and I choke on my reply. I'd rather injure you with honesty than mislead you with a lie. And sometimes when we touch, the honesty's too much. Oh. And I have to close my eyes and hide. So I'd only written half of the chorus. I hadn't
Yeah.
doubled up on it.
Okay.
He said we need to double up on the chorus.
Interesting.
So
But
that
I
was the
like that
original.
better, actually. The sometimes when we touch.
Better than the original, the hit version.
Sometimes when we touch, yeah.
Well, Barry, what he did is he affixed the melody has this sort of like a childlike quality,
Simple.
which is what made it so instantly memorable.
Yeah.
So when he first played me the chorus, it seemed very strange because I hadn't been used to anyone putting their music to my words. So I told him it sounds like something Barry Manilow would sing.
Okay.
And he took offense to that. I just could see his body language. And I realized that an important lesson: never tell a songwriter you're writing with that his idea sounds like another artist. So it wasn't like I didn't like it. It just sounded really, really foreign. I had no sense that he'd stumbled on something amazing.
Well, he simplified it, which could be one of the recipes to making a hit.
Also, he was a very, very, it was the kind of melodic chorus that sticks in your head the first time you hear it.
True.
And
It's
so
easy.
that's a hard thing to do.
And easy to sing along to.
Yes.
For anyone. Yeah, when, like you said, childlike.
Yeah,
in a way.
because what he did is, it was actually a very, very intense lyric. And so what he did is he took something that was very intense and underpinned it with something that was the opposite of intense. And so it was a combination of the intensity of my lyric and the sweeping kind of childlike quality of his melody that produced what it produced.
So the balance.
Yes.
Interesting.
Though I didn't realize that at the time.
Yeah. Was there any particular song that cued you in toward this song?
Well, the interesting thing is that Barry, in the B verse, he inadvertently copied the melody from an Elton John song, which was Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. So how does he do okay, so he goes, and who am I to judge you? Which is, maybe you'll find a replacement. So I just took the harmony above that. So I went to, and who am I to judge you? And that one little change was the difference between a huge hit and a lawsuit.
Wow.
Yeah, he could have sued us for that.
Yeah.
And you can see, because that song was an actual hit when we wrote that song. So you can see how naturally he would have, it's called unconscious when you take a song, you don't realize what you're doing.
Yeah.
And in the courts, if the judge decides it's an unconscious deal, the penalty is not as great. Which is fascinating, because how would a judge know that?
Yeah, true. It doesn't have to be 7 notes that are the same.
It kind of varies,
Yeah.
you know. But anyway.
Because a hook or a riff could be just 2 notes.
Yes. So
Yeah.
his was probably about 7 notes, but I just remember thinking it at the time, and then when I was in the studio recording it, I just automatically sang the harmony. So I hadn't intellectually planned to do so. It just kind of flew out of my mouth in the middle of the vocal.
So after the song was recorded and produced, did you get the feeling that it was going to be a hit? Did everyone know this is the single?
Well, what was interesting is that I did a work tape with Barry Mann when we first recorded the song with his new melody, and he was the one that was singing. He's not the greatest singer in the world, and there were times when he would just la 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 through it. I would play people that work tape, and they were saying it was a hit.
Okay.
I'd never seen a response like that. Now, I didn't really know what a hit meant. I mean, I'd had hits in Canada, but not in America. I thought it was going to be a hit, but Barry said something really interesting before it came out. He said it might be too good. People may not be ready for a song like that.
So in terms of timing?
Well, also the lyric, the stuff I was talking about lyrically, men didn't tend to talk about. In 1970,
Right.
that whole vulnerability thing, men weren't supposed to be vulnerable, even more so then. So I
Yeah.
was kind of breaking a lot of rules. So he didn't know if the world was ready for that kind of a lyric.
So do you think that played into the success of it? So the timing?
Yes, it did. Yeah,
Yes.
definitely, because it was different, you know.
Yeah.
And it's important, especially with that first hit. There has to be something about it that maybe is different than everything else you're hearing. So, but I didn't know it was going to be more than just a hit. You don't know, even if your song is a hit, that it's going to be a classic or it's going to be recorded by literally thousands of artists. So
Yeah.
there's no way of foreshadowing that, right? So I didn't realize it seemed to get bigger and bigger every decade.
Because you did have some hits in Canada before that, and you've had some singles and hits after, but nothing quite as big as that one. So, you know, we could say, oh, let's just do exactly the same thing, like keep working with that dream team, but there's an element of luck and timing to things.
Yes, and then sometimes in order to have another successful song, you have to kind of shake things up, you know. So it's kind of like a sports team where the coach is changing around the roster. So I kind of realized at a certain point I needed to shake things up in order to come up with another hit. I couldn't follow, I guess you could call it a formula.
Right.
So I couldn't follow that formula anymore.
So if you were to do exactly what you did then, now, it probably wouldn't work.
Well, it wouldn't, first of all, you know, artists in general stop having hit singles by the time they hit their 40s. You don't hear of Bruce Springsteen or Elton John coming up with a hit single from something they released today. So if I was to come up with a hit that big, it would have to be another artist who would sing it. It's possible. I mean, there are songs I've had that technically have had more airplay than Sometimes When We Touch, but there are songs that other people have hits with rather than me. So, so they're always going to think of Sometimes When We Touch as my big song, because they're not going to think of 98 Degrees version of I Do Cherish You, for example.
And in terms of, like, how do you define success?
I've defined success as being able to do exactly what you want, and that. Not that you have to be a star or make millions of dollars, but if you can do the kind of job you love to do, and that can support you for your life, that to me is success. That's the bottom line for success.
So you're not saying, I need another hit. I'm motivated to continue making hits. Like if you write a beautiful song and it moves your heart and other people's hearts, that's success to you?
Well, yeah, it's different now because, having a hit is also, if you have a hit as an artist, it's a lot of work because you have to follow that hit up immediately. And back in 1977, if you put out a single, it didn't come out around the world. Like if The Weeknd puts out a single now, boom, it's everywhere within 24 hours. In the case of Sometimes When We Touch, that didn't happen. I literally had to follow that song around the world. Every year, became a hit.
Dominated
Became a hit in North America
life.
one year, then Europe the next year, then Asia the next year. I was literally following that song around the world as it conquered the various continents.
So how do you feel about having to play it all the time and talk about it all the time?
Well, I have all these different stories. There's so many stories related to that song. So
Yeah.
when I sing the song to an audience, what I do is I kind of feel, I know it sounds really corny, but I kind of feel the energy I'm getting from them, so I enjoy it. If I'm sitting around at home, I'm not going to play the song. Or if I'm about to do a show, I don't usually practice that song. So I would be tired of just singing it for my own fun. But again, if I'm singing it live, it's fun because I can feel the audience responding.
The connection.
Yeah.
You don't feel sort of resentful, like you're sort of working a day job or something, or like a wind-up
No, I
monkey
think
doll.
when I was younger, yes.
Yeah, a little bit.
But now, no. I just know I'm unbelievably lucky.
Right. So that gratitude. I
Yeah.
mean, to have one hit even in your life is such a great gift.
I was there's luck obviously plays a big role. So, everything kind of connected, as you said, about the timing, the politics, the behavioral patterns of men and women, everything,
Yeah, I love that element of
Yeah.
pushing the emotional boundaries from a male perspective and that timing.
Although when it was a hit, a lot of feminists in New York demonstrated against it. They didn't like the line, times I'd like to
bridge.
break you and drive you to your knees, because they thought
That-
I
I was
advocating
wondering about that.
violence towards women. Of course.
Yeah.
But I was already pretty much a nerd to people's reaction. I said, whatever, but my mom was very upset. She didn't like the idea that people accused me of being a wife beater. But then Tina Turner cut it, and a massive Tammy Wynette cut it. And
So-
the minute those two women cut it, no one ever complained about those lyrics again.
What did you mean by those lyrics?
I meant to metaphorically break her to the point where I could actually figure out what was really going on with her. I wanted to break down her defenses, to find out who that person was beyond that kind of tough exterior.
Yeah,
That's what
and
I
you just
meant.
can't explain it all in a bridge because
Well,
it's so short.
It didn't
right?
even occur to me
Yeah.
that it could have been taken that way. I
Right.
had no idea.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about writing lyrics, is you often have no idea how people are going to take the lyrics. But maybe that's part of the fun. It's the not knowing. There's an innocence to it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Would you be so kind as to play the song for us in
Sure.
its entirety?
Okay, yeah. You ask me if I love you, and I choke on my reply. I'd rather hurt you honestly than mislead you with a lie. And who am I to judge you on what you say or do? I'm only just beginning to see the real you. And sometimes when we touch, the honesty's too much, and I have to close my eyes and hide. Wanna hold you till I die, till we both break down and cry. I wanna hold you till the fear in me subsides. Romance and all its strategy leaves me battling with my pride. But through the insecurity, some tenderness survives. I'm just another writer, so trapped within my truth, a hesitant prize fighter, so trapped within my youth. And sometimes when we touch, the honesty's too much, and I have to close my eyes and hide. Wanna hold you till I die, till we both break down and cry. Wanna hold you till the fear in me subsides. At times I'd like to break you and drive you to your knees. At times I'd like to break through and hold you endlessly. At times I understand you, and I know how hard you try. I've watched what love commands you, and I've watched love pass you by. At times I think we're drifters, so searching for a friend, a brother or a sister. But then the passion flares again. And sometimes when we touch, the honesty's too much, and I have to close my eyes and hide. Wanna hold you till I die, till we both break down and cry. Wanna hold you till the fear in me subsides.
Amazing.
Oh, thank you, Lily.
And we love to play your song on Zoomer Radio
Well, thank you.
all the
I really
time.
appreciate
We play
that.
the original greatest hits.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time
Absolutely.
and energy
My
to
pleasure.
share that.
Thanks, Lily.